Um, have you ever noticed how, like, a single sentence can completely alter I guess, the molecular density of a room?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Seriously, I want you to think about the last time you experienced this.
Yeah.
You say something that is completely logical. It's syntactically perfect.
Right. In your head, it makes total sense.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
totally rational in your head. At the exact microsecond it leaves your mouth, you watch this physiological shift happen in real time.
Oh, you can literally see it.
Yeah, the other person's jaw clenches.
Oh.
Their shoulders rise like about an inch. The air just gets thick. And suddenly, out of nowhere, you are locked in this high-stakes defensive battle that you never, ever intended to initiate.
It is a completely universal experience. I mean, we've all been the architect of that sudden temperature drop.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And we've certainly all been on the receiving end of it, too. But what you're observing in that microsecond isn't, a personality flaw.
Right.
It is an instant, deeply ingrained biological reaction, like a switch just flips in the brain.
Exactly. And you're just standing there replaying the tape in your head, thinking, wait, what did I even say?
Right, because the data you provided was accurate.
Yes, which is exactly where we are going with this deep dive today. We are exploring the friction between the data we transmit and the way it is actually processed by another human being.
Which are often two very different things.
Totally. We're looking at the sources today to dissect the profound difference between, delivering cold, hard facts and communicating in a way that bypasses our biological threat detectors.
And to understand why those purely logical, well-intentioned sentences go so horribly wrong, we really have to look at the mechanics of delivery.
Right.
The sources we're pulling from today use this very pragmatic analogy to explain this friction. They look at communication through the lens of package delivery.
Oh, I love the package delivery concept.
Yeah.
Let's lay this out for everyone because it really reframes the whole issue.
It really does.
So the underlying idea here is that most of us, especially when we are stressed or pressed for time, we communicate as if we are hurling heavy cardboard boxes at people's heads.
Yeah, it's a stark visual, but honestly, it's mechanically accurate.
Right. So imagine you have this box, and inside the box is your actual message. It's your constructive feedback, your strategic advice, the raw data you need to convey.
Stuff that matters.
Exactly. You care deeply about the contents of this box. You know it's valuable. You just want the other person to have the information.
Right.
But in your absolute fixation on getting it to them, you don't actually hand it over. You just chuck it right at their face with maximum velocity.
And, I mean, if we look at basic human preservation, what happens when a heavy object is hurled at your face?
You duck.
Right. Your primary concern is absolutely not going to be carefully unwrapping the box to inspect the thoughtful gift inside.
No, not at all.
Your brain's immediate overriding priority is survival. You are going to put your hands up to deflect it or duck, or you are going to pick it up and throw it right back. You are bracing for impact.
Right, so if the package hits too hard, the recipient's brain simply cannot care about what is inside.
Well,
the contents just become entirely irrelevant.
exactly.
And it's wild because we spend 99% of our time curating the contents of the box.
Yeah.
Like making sure our arguments are airtight, ensuring our facts are verified. But we spend almost zero time calculating the velocity of the throw.
Which is why the fundamental shift required here isn't about, learning new vocabulary words or deploying some sort of conversational manipulation.
Right, it's not a trick.
No, it's a structural shift in your cognitive approach. You have to move your primary focus from what data do I need to transmit to what is the psychological state of the receiver and how will this data be processed?
How will this data be processed? That is the central friction point right there. So let's take this out of the theoretical realm and drop it into an environment where people are relentlessly hurling packages at each other under high stress.
Oh boy, the modern workplace.
Exactly. The ultimate stress test for communication mechanics. It is an absolute minefield.
It really is.
So here is the first scenario laid out in our sources. You are at the office. A colleague comes up to your desk and hands you a project they've been managing.
Okay.
You look it over, and realistically, it's severely lacking.
Yeah.
The introduction specifically is a mess, and it's missing critical context.
Right. It's a very standard bottleneck. The work is subpar, and it needs immediate correction.
So the direct, efficient reaction, right, the one that your brain serves up first, is to simply state the objective reality.
Right.
You say, this is missing key information, and you need to rewrite the introduction.
Boom, and the package has just struck them right in the forehead.
Okay, but this is where I need to push back on the sources a bit, and I know a lot of people listening will have the exact same objection.
I can guess what it is.
That statement I just made, this is missing key information, and you need to rewrite the introduction. That is, technically, objectively, 100% true.
Yes, it is.
The context is missing. The introduction does require a rewrite. So if the facts are perfectly accurate, why is the burden on me to cushion the blow?
Right.
Isn't clarity the ultimate goal in a professional setting? Like, why are we pretending this is a delicate negotiation when it's just a workflow correction?
See, that is the most common defense of bluntness, and it's the exact trap that highly logical, hyper-efficient people fall into all the time.
Guilty as charged.
You are equating directness with efficiency. But to understand why your directness is actually highly inefficient, you really have to look at the neurological breakdown of what happens the moment those specific words enter the listener's ear.
Okay, walk me through the neurology then.
Right.
What is actually happening in their head when I say that?
Well, you said this is missing key information and you need to rewrite it. You are focused on the document. But through the filter of their workplace anxiety, their own insecurities, and the inherent power dynamics of the office, that sentence does not register as a critique of a Word document.
What does it register as?
It registers as a social threat. Their brain translates it to, you are incompetent. Your status in this tribe is at risk.
Oh, wow. So the critique of the work instantly mutates into a critique of their identity.
Exactly. When you use isolating accusatory syntax like you need to, it triggers the amygdala. That's the brain's threat detection center.
Okay.
And the moment the amygdala lights up, it literally pulls resources away from the prefrontal cortex.
And that's the logic center, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the executive functioning area responsible for logic, constructive feedback, and complex problem solving. So executive functioning goes completely offline.
Wow.
The drawbridge goes up. They are now in a biological state of defense. And any capacity for smooth collaboration is essentially paralyzed.
That is fascinating. That makes me think of it less like a package delivery and more like a computer network firewall.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to send a data packet, right? The feedback about the introduction. But because I wrap that data in the word you, their brain's firewall scans the packet, flags it as malware or a threat, and just drops the connection.
Yep.
The data never even reaches their processor.
That is a phenomenal analogy. The firewall drops the packet entirely. It doesn't matter how brilliant your feedback was. If the firewall flags the delivery mechanism as a threat, the information is destroyed in transit.
Right.
Your communication failed, not because you are wrong, but because you triggered their security system.
Okay, so if the goal is to get the data packet past the firewall without triggering the alarm, how do we restructure the sentence?
Right.
The sources provide this alternative approach. Instead of the direct attack, you say, I really appreciate the groundwork you've laid here. I think we can make this even stronger if we flesh out the introduction a bit.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about adding a few more details there?
Mechanically, this is a highly optimized string of code to get past that firewall.
Yeah, it feels very different.
It's not about being overly sweet either. It's about strategic linguistic mirroring and threat reduction.
Let's dissect the code then, because the most obvious change is that the phrase, you need to, is completely erased.
Because you need to is inherently dictatorial. It establishes an immediate vertical hierarchy where you are positioned above them, issuing a mandate.
Right.
By shifting the pronoun and using collaborative framing like, I think we can make this stronger, you fundamentally alter the spatial dynamic of the interaction.
It changes the visual entirely.
It does.
Instead of standing across a desk pointing a finger directly at their chest, you've linguistically walked around the desk, pulled up a chair next to them, and pointed at the monitor.
Yes.
It's the two of you united against the problem.
Precisely. You've separated their identity from the flaw in the document, and then you conclude the thought with, what do you think?
And here is where I'm going to play devil's advocate again. Because
Yes.
let's be brutally honest.
Okay, let's hear it.
When a manager or a senior colleague says, what do you think about adding a few more details? The employee knows it's not an actual democracy.
Sure.
They know it's a directive wrapped in HR speak. Doesn't this kind of fake collaboration actually breed more resentment? Like, if I know you're just putting a velvet glove on an iron fist, isn't that just patronizing?
It's a very sharp critique, and it highlights where this technique often fails in practice.
Okay.
If your vocal tone is condescending, or if you ask what do you think, but then immediately bulldoze their answer, the amygdala will flag the hypocrisy. and the firewall goes right back up.
So they can smell the fake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It only works if the agency you are offering is genuine.
So you actually have to be willing to hear their thoughts on the introduction.
Yes. When you ask what you think, you are restoring their autonomy. Even if the ultimate outcome is that the introduction must be rewritten, allowing them to participate in the how reduces the cognitive friction.
That makes sense.
People universally resist being ordered around, but they will actively engage when they feel consulted. You are giving them a micro-choice, which keeps their executive functioning online.
So you bypass the firewall because you aren't trying to hack the system. You're knocking on the front door and asking to come in.
Beautifully said.
You maintain your standard, the document still gets fixed, but you preserved the operational capacity of the relationship.
You handed the package over with calculated care.
It's fascinating to see how a slight syntactic shift changes the entire biological response. But it's one thing to maintain this carefully constructed collaborative mask at work where we are literally paid to regulate our emotion.
Right. It's our job.
We have cognitive fuel for this between 9 and 5. But what happens when that fuel is entirely depleted?
When the professional armor comes off and we go home.
Right. When our patience is at its absolute thinnest. And the people we are communicating with are the people closest to us.
Yeah.
How do you maintain a boundary without throwing a brick at someone you care about? Especially when you are just running on empty.
This is the true stress test. Because the stakes of the relationship are significantly higher, and our threshold for emotional regulation is significantly lower.
Totally. Let's pull up the second scenario from the research.
Let's do it.
Picture this. A close friend asks you to help them move apartments.
Oh, the classic.
Yep. And unfortunately, they need help on your one guaranteed free Saturday of the entire month. You've had a brutal, cognitively demanding week at work. You are completely burned out, and your body is physically demanding rest.
A situation with an incredibly high potential for guilt and resentment on both sides.
Exactly. Now, the direct approach, the unmitigated package to the face is something like this. I can't. I'm way too tired and I need my weekend.
Oh, rough. It's abrupt and it really stings.
It does sting. But let me challenge this through the lens of current cultural norms. We live in an era heavily influenced by therapy speak. Everywhere you look, the prevailing advice is to protect your peace, set firm boundaries, and prioritize your mental health.
Very true.
Honesty is prized above almost everything else.
Yeah.
So if I am genuinely physically tapped out, why is this response problematic? It is the objective truth.
Right.
I am tired. I do need my weekend. Why is the burden on me to manage my friend's emotional reaction to my valid boundary?
It is a phenomenal question because it really highlights the dark side of modern boundary setting.
Okay, tell me more.
Setting the boundary is healthy and necessary. The flaw is not the boundary itself. The flaw is the architecture of the delivery.
But
Yes, you are being honest, but you are ignoring the biological reality of social rejection.
how does social rejection play into a simple scheduling conflict, though?
We have to look at the brain again. When a human being experiences social rejection, even minor perceived rejections, it activates the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex.
The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, what does that do?
That is the exact same region of the brain that processes physical pain.
Yeah, really?
Yes, moving is a highly vulnerable, high-stress event. When they reach out for support and you abruptly drop the connection with, I can't, I need my weekend, you aren't just saying no to a task.
Right.
To their brain, you are signaling that your comfort is vastly superior to their struggle.
Oh, man. So it registers as a dismissal of their value in your life, not just a dismissal of the heavy lifting.
Precisely. It's a wall, not a boundary. A boundary protects you. A wall isolates you.
A boundary protects, a wall isolates. That is a crucial distinction right there.
It really is.
So how do we protect our weekend, hold the boundary, but avoid causing that neurological pain response?
Yeah.
The sources suggest using what they term an empathic cushion.
It's an elegant solution to the therapy speak paradox.
Here is the rephrased version. You say, I'd absolutely love to help you settle in, but my battery is completely drained from this week and I'm running on empty. Can I order you guys some lunch on Saturday instead to keep your energy up?
Mechanically, this does exactly what the workplace example did, but tuned for a personal frequency.
Right.
It holds the line while actively repairing the social tissue.
Let's break down the components.
Right.
Because the first half is the boundary, but it's softened.
Right.
You aren't compromising. You are definitively not carrying a sofa up 3 flights of stairs.
Absolutely not.
Your Saturday rest is intact. But You cushion the rejection with validation. I'd absolutely love to help you.
You are confirming the social contract. You are saying, I recognize your need. I value you enough that I wish I could fulfill it, but my resources are depleted.
Right.
It shifts the blame from a lack of desire to a lack of capacity.
But I want to look closely at the pivot at the end.
Yeah.
Can I order you guys some lunch on Saturday instead? Let me be cynical for a second here.
Go for it.
Is buying a pizza just a guilt tax? Like, is it just a bribe so I don't have to feel bad about staying home in my sweatpants?
I mean, it might feel like a guilt tax in the moment, but neurologically, it is a reaffirmation of the relationship. Remember the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the pain of rejection.
Yeah, the physical pain center.
Right. That pain stems from feeling severed from the tribe. By offering to buy lunch, you are providing an alternative pathway for connection. You are declining the task, but you are actively investing in the relationship.
It signals you are still firmly inside my circle of care, even if this specific physical action is outside my current bandwidth.
Exactly. And the cost-benefit ratio is massive.
Totally.
Paying for a delivery pizza is a negligible expenditure of your energy compared to 8 hours of moving furniture.
Oh, 100%.
But emotionally, for the friends sitting among 50 unpacked boxes, knowing you thought of them enough to feed them pays massive dividends.
It really does.
You've cushioned the honesty with tangible empathy. You handed them the I can't package so gently that it completely circumvents their threat response.
Honestly, if someone sent me that exact text, the tension would evaporate immediately. I wouldn't feel abandoned at all. I'd feel incredibly seen. It transforms what could be a moment of deep resentment into an actual moment of connection.
Which brings us to the ultimate synthesis of everything we've extracted from these sources today.
Let's pull it all together.
Whether you are dealing with a subordinate at work or a lifelong friend, the mechanics of human interaction remain remarkably consistent.
So if we consolidate all this data, right, the firewalls, the linguistic mirroring, the empathic cushions, what is the overarching protocol we should be running when we interact with the world?
It requires acknowledging a core truth about human memory and cognition. We like to think of ourselves as highly rational creatures who process and store data efficiently.
Right, but we aren't.
Not at all. The reality is people will almost completely discard the exact words you use.
That's wild.
6 months from now, your colleague won't remember the specific syntax of your feedback on their introduction. Your friend won't remember the exact phrasing of your text message about the move.
The data packet itself degrades over time.
It degrades entirely. But what remains, what I like to call the neurological afterimage, is permanent.
The neurological afterimage.
Yeah. They will never forget the state of their nervous system when they interacted with you.
Wow, that is profound. It's not about the words. It's about the physiological residue you leave behind.
Exactly. If your default communication style forces people to constantly raise their firewalls, I mean, if you leave them feeling defensive, diminished, or attacked,
Right.
that threat state becomes the foundational baseline of your relationship. They will literally brace for impact every time they see your name in their inbox.
That's such a bad place to be.
It is. But if you take the time to navigate past the amygdala, if you leave them feeling respected, partnered with, and valued, even when you are delivering hard truths or setting firm boundaries, you establish a baseline of psychological safety.
You train their brain that you are a secure connection, not a piece of malware.
Precisely. You build trust at a biological level.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a highly actionable piece of code to insert into your daily routine.
I love this one.
Tomorrow, when you are about to enter a conversation, especially if your cognitive fuel is low or if the stakes feel high, I want you to force a manual override. Take a single, silent breath.
One intentional pause.
In that split second of a pause, engage your prefrontal cortex and ask yourself the critical diagnostic question. Am I about to hurl a heavy package at this person's head? Or am I preparing to hand it over with care?
Right.
Am I just trying to forcefully transmit this data, or am I actually considering the biological and emotional state of the receiver standing in front of me?
That micro moment of hesitation is often the only difference between an escalating conflict and a seamless collaboration.
Absolutely.
It's a diagnostic that can literally save relationships. And, you know, as you experiment with that pause throughout your week, I want to leave you with one final, slightly uncomfortable thought to deconstruct on your own time.
Let's hear it.
Think back to the last time you found yourself locked in a fiercely defensive, high adrenaline argument. A moment where your heart rate spiked, your drawbridge went up, and you absolutely refused to yield.
We've all been there.
Be brutally honest with your own memory. Were you actually rejecting the core data the other person was trying to transmit?
Right.
Or were you just instinctively fighting back because of the violent accusatory velocity with which the package was thrown at your head?